Got a revelation, so I'm pulling up to my apartment. But um the revelation is about. I'm sorry, just seatbelt out around my neck. My boobs are big. But anyway, the revelation I got today was about people who to allow in your life. And a lot of times we think that we should only let people who make us feel good be allowed in our life. Has been a very common misconception that I've never understood for myself up until now. Is that we think that everything should feel good. But one thing I know that in order how to choose who in your life or who you allow in your children's life, is that what revelation they got of you. Because the thing is, people can't perceive who you are on their own. Just like unless like just the same way with our relationship with the Lord, we couldn't perceive who Jesus was until God gave us a revelation of who they are. This is pretty much the same deal. It is with people that God sent and put in your life. The funny thing is, God will give those people revelation, and I want you to understand it won't only be righteous people. When you think about Daniel and the three Hebrew boys, they were in the enemy's camp, and they was raised in the castle with the enemy as a king, the one that conquered their people. And he and they and the king had a revelation of who they was. He had a revelation that they weren't like anybody else. And I'm not sure. I don't know how. I know they were raised with great wealth, and I'm not exactly sure the details of how whether they were mistreated or what. But I don't assume that they was treated too well. That for them to be praying as hard as they were to for their kingdom to be rebuilt and for their people to get to where they need to be. If you're completely satisfied with the way things is, usually you don't take the route that they took. So, with all that being said, in this season, God is teaching me. I mean, and I'm sure I'm not the only person, but because they let whoever have an ear hear what the Spirit is saying. He is saying, you're gonna have some negative things in your life, but it's according to the revelation. If you a lot of people in your life that God has given them a revelation of who you are, and those people who have a revelation of who you are now, they're gonna respond to it different. Whatever revelation God give them of you, you remember back when God finally gave Pharaoh a revelation of who Moses was. He got angry. He was offended. Because he probably spent the most of his life thinking that he was better than Moses, knowing Moses was adopted and of the other people. So he was in the castle, but he probably felt that he was big, and then all of a sudden Moses has this big God that's making him do things that making him not only do things that he didn't want to do, but things that was embarrassing to him, and that warred against his ego. And in the end, the Bible says that God turned Pharaoh's heart against Moses and the children of Israel. That's why he pursued them and went after them. So we got to understand, that all things work together for the good of them that love the Lord. God knows us infinitely more than we can probably ever will understand our own selves. And even, but we need to allow the things, whether they good or bad, good people or bad people, to be in our life, to have whatever rule that God has allowed them to come into our life for. And it may not, he used the simple things to confound the wise. And then, all my life, and even every time I get on Facebook, and not just mine, I see people, get rid of the negative people, get rid of it. When I think about majority of my life being negative and having negative responding by other people and things like that, it has made me into a great person. Maybe not in the sense of what somebody else will measure, but when you are a person yourself and you at peace with yourself and you like the person who God made you, that goes to say you can be a millionaire and not like who you are and be insecure and hate the creation that God made in you. But I can see God's love for me in the thing within me, because how would I get to have as much love as I have for other people? Yet, but it's because He Himself has loved me, while all the negative people around me that he allowed gave them a revelation that I didn't even fully understand. I remember people hating me for reasons that was so beyond my understanding at that time that I just was hurt. My niece is going through that now. One of my brothers, my older brother's daughters, and she asked the question the other day: how is it that the people around me was okay when I was dating a boy that was mistreating me, but now they mad with me because I have somebody treat me good. That's God kind of giving you a revelation, but a revelation on your level of understanding. But as I got to be older, I understood that people did. They truly had a revelation of who I was. You have people say, "Oh, you're gonna be rich when you get to grow," because they saw wealth in me. They saw the wisdom, they saw the knowledge, they saw discretion, they saw things that was worthy of honor. But it was offensive to them as well because it made them recognize what was not in them. And things that they didn't want to do that I did willingly and with a humble spirit. So don't, just really look at the details of your life, and remember to just allow God to have his way. Go with the flow of things. He's going to reveal things. Today I'm here battling something that's really hard for me. Two people who I love, raised, and did anything I could do. I'm going around making up lies on me. This ain't the first time I've ever been battled with this. It's the first time on this level that I've been battled with it. I've never had a person who I've had to pour into and give constantly and consistently, be that person for them to turn and do that kind of harm to me. But I'm on a different level in God. I'm able to understand how God feels when we turn our back on him. When he give us life, give us blessings, take care of us all our life, and we turn our back on him for whatever reason, for material things, for pride, for a pat on the back by somebody who you just admire more than you admire God, which is beyond my understanding. And I thank God for it not to be in that arrogance. And I'm not saying that out of arrogance. I just thank God for what he keeps me from and what he's kept me from. But I see, I understand in the sense of that's what's going on. But I don't understand on the level that I've had to experience. And I appreciate that. And I pray for those people. Not looking down on them, but just grateful. I don't ever want to be in a place in my life where people mean more to me than my relationship with the Lord. Or him, even if I didn't have a relationship, the fact that he gives me things, and before I ever even had a relationship, that I was a priority to him, warrants him to be the greatest person in my life and in my opinion, that ever existed. Because I don't know anybody, not even a parent, that want to give and not receive, willing to give and not receive. But God, his understanding is such a beautiful thing, and I pray that he continue to give it to me and that he continue to give it to you. Be blessed.